dear students, I am Professor Sonal Gogri, working with GLS University, Faculty of Business Administration, GLS BBA. Today we shall be taking up a topic on the subject of managing people. The unit is training and development. In this particular unit, we will be talking about the meaning and the difference between training and development, the different methods of training and different methods of development. So let us first of all understand the meaning and why do we need training and development in any organization. Organizations take training and development very seriously and they spend millions and crores of rupees in training their employees. So what is training and development? It is basically imparting the skills, abilities and knowledge to an employee. So training and development refer to the imparting of skills, abilities and knowledge to an employee. Training and development may be understood as any attempt to improve current or future employee performance by increasing an employee's ability to perform through learning, usually by changing the employee attitude or increasing his or her skills and knowledge. In short, what is training? अगर हम employees के point of view से देखें तो हमें employees को सिखाना है कि how to work on machines, how to take decisions, right? So the need for training and development is determined by employees' performance deficiency. What is performance deficiency? When does the need arises? When the actual performance is lower than the standard performance. Standard performance is calculated by the industrial standards, right? That in an organization, a particular number of hours is needed to perform the work. Let's say 10 hours is needed to perform a particular task. Employees are taking 14 hours. So 4 hours are being wasted. The actual performance is taking a lot of time, and here the need of training and development arises. Training, as was stated earlier, is imparting skills to employees. A worker needs skills to operate machines and to use other equipment with least damage and scrap. अगर ट्रेनिंग देंगे हम तो डैमेज कम से कम होगा, right? Wastage of machineries, wastage of raw materials will be minimized. There will be optimum utilization of resources if a worker is trained on how to use the machineries. This is a basic skill without which the operator will not be able to perform. There is also need for two different types of skills. One is motor skills, another is interpersonal skills. So what are motor skills? Motor skills are also called as psychomotor skills. It refers to performance of specific physical activities, involves bodily movements like throwing a ball, driving a car. These are called motor skills. In a factory, how workers use these machineries, lift weighting, all these requires motor skills. Employees need to be trained on how to use a specific physical movements in order to perform the task. Second is interpersonal skills. Employees, particularly supervisors and executives, need interpersonal skills, which is popularly known as people skills. Interpersonal skills are need to understand oneself and others better and act accordingly. Interpersonal skills like listening skills, leadership qualities, right? How to take right decisions, all these are the part of interpersonal skills. On the other hand, development, it stresses on knowledge. As we saw that training stresses on how to perform a work having specific skills. Development is less skill oriented, but it stresses on knowledge. So another component of training program is development, which is less skill oriented but stresses on knowledge. Knowledge about what? So knowledge about business environment, management principles and techniques, human relations, specific industry analysis and the like is useful for better management of a company. So why do we need development? In order to make our managers self-starters. How do we make our managers self-starters? We need to impart that self-motivation in them through development programs. How do we make them result-oriented? How do we make them sensitive to the environment in which they function, both at the workplace and outside? How do we make them aware of themselves, their potential and their limitations? Self-awareness, self-motivation is important at the end of the day to ensure effectiveness and efficiency in the work environment. How do we teach them to communicate without filters, to see and feel points of view different from their own? Communication is the key to business. We have heard this many a times. Without communication, coordination cannot be achieved in the organization, right? So it is important that the right method of communication is imparted. How do we help them understand power and thereby develop leadership styles which inspire and motivate them? How do they become successful leaders and lead themselves as well as their team? How do we instill a zest for excellence, a divine discontent, and a nagging dissatisfaction with the status quo? So hence we saw that, training and development is important for every organization. And therefore it is also called as the source of competitive advantage for any business. What is competitive advantage? It is basically you as an organization having an advantageous position over your competitors. Usually in marketing, we see that the product or our research and development is unique, and that is making us different and at a better position than our competitors. Similarly, our human resource, our employees, our people are the asset for the organization. If we train them properly, the talented people are nothing but they are the source of competitive advantage for the organization. They differentiate our organization from that of others. So companies derive competitive advantage from training and development. Training and development offers competitive advantage to a firm by removing performance deficiencies, making employees stay long, minimizing accidents, scrap and damage, and meeting future employee needs. There is a greater stability, flexibility and capacity for growth in organization. When accidents, scrap and damage to machinery and equipment can be avoided or minimized through training, then even dissatisfaction, complaints, absenteeism and turnover can be reduced if employees are trained well. Again, I read the last two lines. Dissatisfaction, complaints, absenteeism, turnover, all these can be reduced if training is done well. So, agar employees satisfied hai, they are happy with the work, they are coming regularly, absenteeism and turnover is less, then automatically in the long run, organization is able to save lot of resources and organization moves towards sustainable development as well as towards long-term profitability. Let us understand the benefits of employee training. Now, training is important not only for employees but also for the organization. So, first let us understand how training benefits the organization. It leads to improved profitability and or more positive attitude towards profit orientation. If employees, if employees save lot of resources, the wastage is minimized, then automatically the organization moves towards profitability. It improves job knowledge and skills at all levels of the organization. Improves the morale of the workforce. If employees are well trained, they are satisfied with the job, less absenteeism, less turnover automatically makes them motivated to perform better. Helps create a better corporate image, fosters authenticity, openness and trust. Improves relationship between boss and subordinate, very useful for communication. Aids in organizational development. An organization gets more effective decision making and problem solving skills. Moving ahead with the next point, continuing from here, it aids in developing leadership skills, motivation, loyalty, better attitudes and other aspects that successful workers and managers usually display. With the right training and development, employees will be motivated and will be showing their leadership qualities, which is again very important for teamwork. Aids in increasing productivity and or quality of work. Helps keep costs down in many areas, for example, production, personnel, administration, etc. Develops a sense of responsibility to the organization for being competent and knowledgeable. Improves labor management relations. Creates an appropriate climate for growth and communication. Aids in improving organizational communication. Helps employees adjust to change, again with the right set of training and development, with the right skills. Whenever the change is fostered in the climate, employees will readily accept and adapt to the new changes. If employees aren't well trained, then the organization would suffer, because change management, resistance to change management will slow down the growth of the organization and will be a question mark for the survival of the company. And therefore, with the right set of training and development, the employees would adjust and adapt and readily accept the new changes happening in the environment. It makes the organization flexible and dynamic. Aids in handling conflict, thereby help to prevent stress and tension. Moving ahead. So we just now saw how training is beneficial to organization, but it is equally beneficial to individuals for personal growth. And if there is a personal growth of an employee, overall organizational growth will happen, because it would ultimately benefit the company. Helps the individual in making better decisions and effective problem solving. A well-trained employee, a well-developed employee will be able to tackle problems and would be able to solve problems easily. Aids in encouraging and achieving self-development and self-confidence. Help a person handle stress, tension, frustration and conflict. Provides information for improving leadership, knowledge, communication skills and attitude. It increases job satisfaction and recognition. It is very important. If an employee is well trained, the job satisfaction is higher. The absenteeism and turnover reduces. At the end of the day, organization grows, not only in terms of profits, but also for a long-term sustainable growth. The costs are also reduced. Provides the trainee an avenue for growth and a say in his or her own future. Develops a sense of growth in learning. Helps a person develop speaking and listening skills. As we just saw, people skills, interpersonal skills are developed through development. Also writing skills when exercises are required, and helps eliminate fear in attempting new tasks. So if the fear is eliminated, change can be easily accepted. Benefits of training in personnel and human relations, intragroup and intergroup relations, and policy implementation. So training is not only important for organization and individual, but overall administration, overall running of the organization in policy making. Training is important because it improves communication between groups and individuals. Aids in orientation for new employee and those taking new jobs through transfer or promotion. Provides information on equal opportunity and affirmative action. Provides information on government laws and administrative skills. Improves interpersonal skills. Make organizational policies, rules and regulations viable. It improves morale. Builds cohesiveness in group. Provides a good climate for learning, growth and coordination, and makes the organization a better place to work and live. So overall, training and development is very much important for creating a very beautiful climate, working culture in any organization. So till now we just talked about meaning of training and development, why is it important, and what are the advantages of training and development methods for the organization, for individuals and for the overall administration. Now let us understand the difference between the training and development. Since training and development are the terms widely used together, but from an HR perspective, there is a huge difference between training and development. So let us understand the meaning. We shall run through the basis of comparison for the difference between training and development. First, let us understand the meaning of training and development. Training refers to the process of imparting specific skills. Training refers to the process of imparting specific skills. Means जो भी job को related skills है कि workers को machine में कैसे काम करना है. If there is an accountant, how would he or she manage books of accounts? So these are specific skills required to perform specific job. And for that job, for a particular job, a training is given to the employees. So again I read, training refers to the process of imparting specific skills. On the other hand, development refers to the learning opportunities designed to help employee grow. So it is basically the learning opportunities of an employees, right? So development is more like, let's take an example. Let's say if there is a worker who's joined a new organization, तो उनको काम सिखाना है, how to work on a machine, right? That is training. How to start a machine, how to handle equipments, how to handle raw material, how to put raw material into the machine. These are some specific skills required. Technical skills जिसको हम कह सकते हैं. So technical skills are nothing but used for training. On the other hand, development is basically not used today, but maybe in future. After 10 years, if I have to take some important decision, so based on my experience, I should be able to take it, right? That is development, where learning opportunities are given to the employees so that they learn and grow. Hence, of course, as we said that training is specific to job, it is a short-term process. It is concerned with the immediate improvement of the employee. That is the ways to make employee more effective in the current role. What is your current role? What is the employee's current role? He or she is a salesperson. How would they achieve the target? How would they negotiate? Right? These are specific job-related skills. This training is given so that immediate improvement can be seen in an employee. Development is long-term in nature. It is the process to make the employee efficient enough to handle critical situation in the future. That is how well he can equip himself for the future demands. Right? In future, the technology will change, the cultural environment might change, the organizational requirements will change. How the employee is keeping himself or herself updated to the current requirements and the future needs. That is development. Hence, the focus of training is job oriented. And since it is job oriented, we want the employee to learn right now the job skills. So the time is called as present. On the other hand, development is for future and it is individual in nature. It is individual in nature. Now, what does individual in nature means? It is up to person on how he or she wants to develop. People have different aims, different vision, different dreams, different passion. So, based on their individual goals, development can be focused upon. And therefore, development is career oriented because it is person to person. It is individual based. On the other hand, training is concentrated towards the job, a specific job. Who gives the training? A trainer. So it is the responsibility of the organization to appoint the trainer and give training to their employees. On the other hand, development is self. You need to be self-motivated. You should have a passion of your own in order to develop. So in an organization, there may be hundreds of employees, but few would be willing to learn, enhance their career, and that requires development, self-development. The objective. Why do we give training? Immediate work ke liye, right? So to improve the work performances of the employee. It means learning the new things and refreshing old ones. This is again important. Learning new things, refreshing old ones. So training is not only given to the new employees, but also to the existing employees when there is a demand. Let's take an example. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, the demand to learn technical knowledge, technology has increased, right? So even the existing employees will have to learn and adapt themselves to the newer technologies. One has to give them training to refresh the old ways of working and learn the new ways of working. On the other hand, development prepares the employee for future challenges. It means implementing the learned sessions and finding the new ones. Number of individuals, of course, when it comes to training is usually group focused. You can train lot of people together. Organizations like TCS, Infosys, these organizations recruits large number of people together, mass recruitment through campus recruitments, right? So when there are a lot of freshers coming together, the training is given to the entire group together by the specialized instructor. So training programs are group focused, where one individual participates in organizing group events such as workshops, classes, seminars, and so on. Development, as we saw, it is self-development. You only need a mentor, a coach, a guide who can actually help you and help you take the right decisions. So development is usually one. Development activities tends to be more of a personalized experience, which is catered based on the individual's development plan. Aim. What is the aim of training? Specific job related. We just saw, जो हमारी job skills है उसको improve करने के लिए training होती है, तो therefore training is specific job related. Development, since it is individual in nature, it is career oriented, helps you cater the needs of future demands, and therefore it is career building and progression. Designed for. Training is designed for non-managers as well as managers. It is offered to operatives usually, right? Because it is designed, generally you will see trainings being given to technical people, people in the factory, how to operate machineries, but also to managers to the extent how to work, right? How to work in a set environment, in a proper corporate culture, in a team. On the other hand, development, it involves only managerial personnel. Development programs are meant for employees in higher positions, for example, executives. So there are many organizations, many top universities who give training and development programs for the employees of organizations through their executive development programs, management development programs, usually called as EDPs and MDPs. Skills, training, through training, one would learn technical skills and knowledge on how to perform a job. So managerial personnel learn technical knowledge and skills. On the other hand, managerial personnel learn conceptual knowledge and theoretical knowledge. Development is not primarily skills oriented, right? As in training is primarily skills oriented on how to perform the job. Development is not primarily skills oriented. Of course, listening skills, interpersonal skills are improved, but it provides general knowledge and attitudes which will be helpful to employees in higher positions. Efforts towards development often depend on personal drive and ambition. And therefore, the scope of training is narrow and the scope of development is wider, because training scope is limited to a particular job and it is present oriented. On the other hand, development's scope is wider since it is related to career and it is future oriented. So the last point is, who is responsible for conducting and imparting training and development? The responsibility of imparting and conducting training lies in the hands of organization. So the organization takes the responsibility of training. And we just saw that development is self-oriented. One has to be self-motivated to develop, to learn, to increase the knowledge. Hence, development is a self-assessment procedure where individuals are held responsible for creating and owning their development plans and activities. So this is the summary of what we studied today. We talked about the difference between training and development, the basis for comparison, meaning what is training and what is development. Term, training is short term and development is long term. Focus of training is job oriented, focus of development is future oriented, it is career oriented. Instructor is self. On the other hand, in development, the instructor is self, right? So we have seen all these bases of comparisons: objective, number of individuals, aim, designed for, skills, what kind of skills are imparted through training and development, scope, and finally, who is responsible of conducting and imparting training and development. So today we have, in this particular session, we talked about the definitions of training, the meaning of training and development, its advantages and importance, and the difference between the two. From the next lecture, we shall be talking about methods of training. Thank you.